I have a story that I would like to share with you, and it's an African story. It is a story of hope, resilience, and glamour. There was Hollywood, then came Bollywood. Today, we have Nollywood.
Filmmaking in Nigeria predates independence. Late Orlando Martins was the first Nigerian to act in the movie Sanders of the River. This movie was partly shot in Nigeria. Nigeria's film industry has grown beyond anyone's imagination because Living in Bondage struck the right chord with the audience.
Ana pinye me kobo nwere ke mana rum chọrọ ego nwesi ka m dobe ọlụnwa were ego m nwa wee zụba afịa azụpụtakwanụ m gị.
Roll. Action.
As a generator hums on the roof, director F. Olu Michaels shoots his 14th episode of Remember Me, a soap opera about a girl with magical powers. He says since he got into the business 16 years ago, Nollywood has grown from a ragtag industry into a giant, producing thousands of films a year. But Nollywood also suffers from the same woes as the rest of Nigeria: widespread poverty, insecurity, and lack of electricity. As a result, Nigerian artists say their movies are made on tight budgets and films lack polish. At a fancy country club in Lagos, Olu Jacobs, one of Nollywood's most famous actors, says many movies are shot in only a week for less than $30,000. But he says Nollywood movies are popular because they reflect themes Africans can relate to, instead of Hollywood's version of the continent, an exotic land of large wild animals and suffering villagers.
Basically, we are telling our story. We are telling the African story. It is our music, our dance, our makeup, our costume, the way we live, our family life, our love story.
Action!
You can finance a movie with just $10,000 in Nigeria here, and you shoot in 7 days.
We're doing films for the masses. We're not doing films for the elite and the people in their glass houses. No, they can afford to watch their RoboCop and whatever.
Good. Auto check.
I think filmmaking in Nigeria, for those involved in it, is a kind of subsistence filmmaking. What they do to make a living. It's not the fancy filmmaking where you say, oh, you want to put all the razzmatazz of Hollywood, where you have big budgets. Here is that you make these films, it sells, you jump onto the location again to make another film. Because if you don't make the next film, you're not going to feed.
The huge demand for Nollywood movies means filmmakers churn out movies at an alarming rate. Around 50 new titles are produced every week. For a budget as small as $15,000, a filmmaker could wrap up a job from pre-production to post-production in just 10 days. That's the average. But that's at the expense of technical quality.
While some people could spend 6 months shooting a film, you are spending 10 days, 2 weeks shooting a film, or 3 weeks shooting a film. You're trying to cut down on accommodation, cost of accommodation, cost of transportation, welfare of the artists, cost of camera, and all that.
The industry generates over 99 billion annually. We're the second largest film industry in the world. We have taken off a lot of people off the street by offering employment. We have created specialized categories in over 19 professional categories: actors, producers, soundmen, lightmen, editors, and all the way down the line, costume and all that.
By some estimates, the industry employs around 1 million people and pumps around $600 million into the national economy.
Nigerian film industry is called. Actually, that has expanded now to contemporary African filmmaking. You know, we call that the whole thing Nollywood. What happened was that I felt that they needed some sort of jump start. I felt that they were doing so much work in Nigeria, they were working so hard, and they hadn't received the credibility. And my interest was to take their films on a global level, and not just for the fun of it or just to make Nigerians feel proud. That may be part of it, but realistically, Africa doesn't really create its own products. What we have in Africa is people selling natural resources as a way of sustenance. And I felt that based on my experience living in the US, I felt this is the time that we have to create our own products in Africa. This is the time we have to market those products and distribute those products.
Filmed in Lagos, Nigeria, 93 Days tells the true story of the men and women who risked their lives to stop the spread of the Ebola virus in 2014. Directed, produced, and distributed by Nigerians, but boasting a significantly bigger budget and audience than standard Nollywood fare, it's one example of what some in the film industry are calling the new wave of Nigerian cinema. Nollywood insiders say the genre seems set to evolve and diversify, along with advancements in technology.
Technology is like, getting simpler and simpler to learn and to use. I think that's definitely helped in the outputs that we see. So the pictures are better, they're clearer.
And it seems modern technology is also helping Nollywood draw audiences in on a more personal level.
Social media is also pushing a lot, so social media, the cast are having their fan base, they're engaging with their fans, they go to the cinema, they review the films. Those kind of things are really showing us that they're letting us know how big the audience for the industry is, and they're letting us know what they like and what they don't like.
While that's driving some of the growth, Moses says it's also about the storytelling and a shift in thinking about the business of film.
Our culture is rich, the stories are there that have been untapped, untold, and we're just starting, we're just scratching the surface. We have, 180 million people, but there are only 28 cinemas, in the whole country. So, I mean, if you just think about just even the growth potential for cinemas alone.
And for many filmmakers, there's no better place to test that potential than at a film festival with keen viewers, like these New Yorkers.
So I always look forward every year to, to this film festival because they pick films from a perspective that you can't get anywhere. And it's surprising how these wonderful films, if you don't get them here, you're not going to get them on Netflix and, certainly not in the movie theater.
Although that's changing, with films from Nigeria and from other countries across Africa slowly starting to crop up on platforms like Netflix. Bigger budgets mean bigger audiences and vice versa, producers say. And it's festivals like this one that tend to set the stage for wider distribution. So with the spotlight on Nigerian film in Toronto and here in New York, it seems Nollywood is going global. Mimi Chahiman, CCTV, New York.
About 50 Nollywood movies are released every week, and thanks to technology, these movies find their ways to homes across the world. Among those driving the global distribution of Nollywood movies is Iroko TV, an online video-on-demand startup founded by British-born Nigerian Jason Njoko some 2.5 years ago.
I kind of came across Nollywood and realized that there seemed to be or lacked a legal and I guess, global distribution platform. Again, being a child of the internet, being very kind of engaged in social media, it seemed like the most simple thing to do was to kind of like take an industry, try and digitize it and bring it online.
And that's exactly what Iroko TV does. It basically streams Nollywood movies online to a global audience, making money in the process from advertising.
In 2012, July, we actually introduced a paid service. So for the most branded, newest of movies, some of the most well-known movies coming out of like West Africa, we asked that you pay, the equivalent of, $5 like averaged out per month to have access to those movies. So we have like, you know, a big chunk of actually revenue being generated from people like paying. And those people are subscribed from like across Africa, across like North America, Western Europe, like from like most places across the world.
This is more than 1,000 films every year, even more than Hollywood. And now American directors are casting more foreign talent for their film.
So far, so good. We've been able to take the movie industry, Nollywood per se, to a different level. We've seen growth from the days of pneumatic to Betacam to DV. So technologically, we've upgraded.
When I started, they thought we were just joking. A lot of people saw it as one Test by Moonlight setup. But now it's a global voice. It's a global phenomenon.
It's a fantastic industry that has just been born in this part of the world. Because nobody believed that Nollywood can come out of Africa.
You know, this Nollywood where the magic lives.